Well, you're listening to Independent TV 7 on the headline as it is straight to the headline. Department of State Service DSS opens up after a report claims that security agency released Nnamdi Kanu from its custody. Wow. Furthermore, the Department of State Service or Security Service DSS has finally responded to reports that it has released Nnamdi Kanu, the embattled leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, from its custody. According to the Vanguard report, the security agency, in a statement dated Sunday, July 30th, said it only complied with a court order by granting Kanu access to his personal doctors. Okay. It also recalls Kanu was released on Saturday to meet with his personal physicians in Abuja Hospital outside the facility of the Department of State Services (DSS). However, Vanguard quoted a source close to the DSS describing the views on the internet as mere speculations, maintaining that Kanu is still very much with the security agency as he was only granted access to his personal doctors under the supervision of the service. Also giving clarification to the reports on the internet, the source said access to doctors for suspects in DSS custody is routine in line with the standard operating procedure bracket in SOP close of the service. Wow. The source stressed that such access under the supervision of the personnel of the service is not only applicable to Kanu but every other suspect in DSS custody. But let it be known to all that Kanu's access to his personal doctors is also in line with the order of Justice Binta Inyako of the Federal High Court, Abuja. Reports that Kanu was released to see his personal doctors is baseless because the access granted him was under the supervision of the DSS. Furthermore, the DSS is an organization that believes in the rule of law and so will continue to comply with orders of the court, the source said. Nnamdi Kanu has been detained at the facility of the State Security Service since he was rearrested in Kenya and brought back to Nigeria in June 2021 after initially fleeing the country in 2017. The Court of Appeal Abuja on 13th October 2022 held that the IPOB leader was extraordinarily rendered or renditioned to Nigeria as that the action was a flagrant violation of the country's extradition treaty, which is the agreement between the international law and the local law, and also a breach of his fundamental human rights. And the court therefore struck out the terrorism charges filed against Mr. Kanu by the Nigerian government and ordered his release from the custody of the SSS, which is the Security State Service. Well, the federal government, however, refused to release the IPOB leader, insisting that Kanu could be unavailable in subsequent court proceedings if released, and that his release would cause insecurity in the southeast where he comes from. Wow, it's so very interesting that Nigerian government, Nigerian policy, Nigerian system is not being followed as it is. You hear about constitution, the constitution of Nigeria, which binds us. They will say the Nigerian 1999 constitution amended. Now, if there are commandment that could be amended, or the democracy itself, which says the government of the people, for the people, and by the people, and justice, which is for one, is for all. Justice for all is for one, or thereabout. But in the case of Kanu, Kanu has been discharged and acquitted severally, or countless time, or so many charges that were laid or alleged against him, by terrorism charge or thereabout. But he said he acted with felony. He acted John Bail. He did this. He did that. So many. But at the long run, the three justices who presided over Kanu's case, as soon as Kanu was discharged and acquitted, they were also transferred from Abuja High Court to, I don't know, misplaced priority of Nigerian government. I don't really understand, but notwithstanding, if Nnamdi Kanu is given access to his doctor, it simply shows that seems the freedom and the day for his freedom is near. That's what it is. But not granting him freedom, because under the constitution, which says you have freedom of movement, freedom of association, freedom to rights, freedom to life or thereabout. But freedom of speech also is also available under the constitution, but rather with all the freedom, everybody should be guided and as far as not under violence. If the Department of State Service, Security Service, or thereabout State Security Secret Service, they are the ones to be pronounced or proscribed those kind of names. Now they finally responded to reports that it has released Nnamdi Kanu. Well, in the embattled leader of the indigenous people of Biafra from its custody, but not custody, from they will still escort him down to the doctors to see his medical doctors. If they want to free him, they should free him. They will be scared about what is going to happen insecurity wise or insurgency wise, which federal government they will just put blame and mark on federal government. And however, since they are refusing to release not only Nnamdi Kanu, there are so many under the captivity, like I read in the previous article. Nigeria is a contraction as it is. Okay, as it is, Nnamdi Kanu, Sunday Igboho, El Zazaki, they are all under the custody of, I don't know if it's DSS that is controlling the judiciary, or it is the judiciary that is controlling the president, or judges as per se. I would say if the federal government is being represented by this judiciary and they are not carrying out their role, as in how do Nigeria move forward. The DSS is an organization that believes in the rule of law. Well, if so, we continue to comply with orders of the court. The source said, well, they will follow the rule of law since it's their father that is the judge. So what they do is they add sentiments to whatever they do, and I don't know where the narrative is coming from. Maybe it's coming from the northern part of the country or the southern part or the southeast, or they just feel like anybody in captivity is an opportunity for them to mess that person up, or to extort the person, or to embezzle the country as far as the narrative is going against them. Now, the Court of Appeal in Abuja on 13th October